Alright guys, I really don't know how to record this any other way at the moment, so I'm just going to record this in the heat of the moment. I want to show you how, basically in any editor, you can easily fix screw-ups, and here's my first example. I have a guitar solo in this song that I'm making, and as you can see, my mouse, well, just follow my mouse, and it's kind of hard to look, but if you listen to the one guitar solo, I'm not that great at guitar solos for one thing. But anyway, when I come into about right here, you can hear the screw up. Right here it comes. I let off the guitar, you can hear it ring out. So here's the screw up, right there. So that part right there, obviously in the mix of everything, you probably won't be able to hear it through the recording because I haven't gone through the iPad, but I can hear the difference, and I know other people would be able to if I just let it in there and play it along. We'll see if we can hear it. You can hear me let off the guitar. You can hear just some kind of weird noise, and the notes break up for that second. Yeah, so you can definitely tell that it's in there. So, what we want to do is get rid of that. So I'm using Mixcraft. You can use Quarter Pro, Adobe, Studio One, Pro Tools, whatever you use, obviously. There's some way that you can split your waveforms, and that's what you want to do. You want to find out where your screw up is. Instead of redoing it, where if you record someone and they can't redo it, or you're in a rush like I am, or I know I can edit it without plugging back in my guitar and worrying about it. So you split your waveform. So I just right click and go to split, or you can use Ctrl T. That's for Mixcraft, and take away where a screw up is, and you just keep playing it over and over again until you got all of it gone. So it's split, just loop it. Alright, now we got where my hand let off the string. So yeah, obviously that's going to sound pretty bad in the solo. You know, you can hear the difference even worse than before, because it skips out. All you need to do, you can just pick the last note that's ringing out and split it. Now, if you have depends on what program you have, you can either copy it and you can trim it up, and you can just paste it right in there. That way the note is sustaining. You can do that. I don't know if this will sound correct. No, I still got a little bit of a scuffle in there. Just delete a little bit more. Alright, so what I like to do is I like to time stretch. In Mixcraft, you hold down your Control button, the Ctrl button on your keyboard. When you come up to here, you hold it in, and you'll see two fingers pointing each opposite ways. Start dragging that out. That will not screw up your pitch or anything, but it will stretch the timing of it. If you do stretch it too far, it starts to affect it. But this is long enough you won't even notice a difference. Now it seems like I held that note the whole time before the next note came in. So I gotta delete a little more here. Alright, so make sure they overlap each other just a tiny bit. You can see if you scroll in the further out you go, there's an X. That X is your fading X. And I'm so glad Mixcraft did this, because I know a lot of other programs started doing it, and it really saves time on getting chopped up parts to mix in together well. So let's see how this sounds. Yeah, you can't even tell. Now it looks like I just played that guitar solo perfectly correct. Sounds like it. Alright. So from before, we had... Hold on, let me give you of what it used to sound like. Before it was, you could hear my hand going off of the guitar. There. Alright, take that off. That's the old one. And this is the part that I cut out the part and stretched the note. So now there is no hand going off the guitar. Alright, let's hear that in its all of its glory, I guess. And the last thing I'd want to do is down here, that note ends there, so I will just fade these notes out, trim them up so they're about even. You always want to fade out your blocks or fade in, even if it's just a small amount, just a little tiny bit, because if you have a sudden stop on any type of sound, it's going to prevent it will prevent clipping. If you fade it in or fade it out, it will prevent clipping, popping, or sudden changes in volume. Especially if you have a compression on it and the compression is doing a lot of work, it will definitely pick up that audio coming straight in and will create unwanted sounds you'd want. So I faded these out, just even sounds even more natural. And this is a Mixcraft. It doesn't. You know what to do in any other program. You know your program. Just stretch or copy and paste a note you want into the part you screwed up on. And that's pretty much it for this. Well, I'm not happy with the way that fades out, so I'll time stretch these ends here. I'll split these two here into two separate blocks, see? One block and another block. What I'm going to do is hold my control key down, have them hands come up, and just kind of stretch it out a little more. Now, a little more, just like this. If I stretch it out too much, it will sound really bad, but I didn't do too much stretching to it, I don't believe, so it should sound like a natural sustain out. Perfect. I'm going to see if I can stretch it out a little bit more without... I'll turn the volume up a little bit on the fade. And stretch it out just a little more. It might sound, if it sounds too corny, I can always stretch it back. Because once you start messing with the stretching, time stretching things, it can make it sound really robotic-like. It's weird. Perfect. That sounds great. I just just want to fix up these blocks coming in. See, there's no fading in them, so you want to fade them together a little bit. That way you don't hear any. Even though there wasn't any, they flushly go right together, but you want them always overlapping each other, because the compressor, like I said, will pick that up, and other certain effects. It can ruin any effects that you use. That way it's always one track. And once you have it all done, just merge them together. You select them, select it, and you can merge it together into one part. That way it's just one block. And depending on any other program, they call it other things like a mix down, and you get the point. So here's just a quick tutorial of how you can do that. And one more take, what it all sounds like together, and that should be it. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright. Hopefully I'll bring you more tips here soon. Comment and tell me what you need to know. Ask me any questions. I am not a professional. I've just been doing this all my life.